fellow gamers? Cryptic Panther here with another rant. I guess we'll call it that. This is my third time recording something today. This is not the norm for me. Normally I do a single take. I sit down and I have material in front of me. If I'm doing a rant, I usually have information available to me. I think the first thing I recorded today was a little long. I felt after I was done recording, I felt I could have had it cut shorter. But I thought, well, I'm going to put it up. I mean, that's what I do. I don't usually normally edit myself out unless like a sneeze or something in the middle of something. I'll cut that out. But normally, yeah, I do one take. I fire up, I go, and that's it. What happens, and that's kind of what I've always done. And today, first off, I'm gonna talk about what I recorded. I'm gonna talk about the topic, and then it became two topics. And I got angry, and I got mad. I was kind of pissed off at the gaming community at a whole from what I was reading online today. And so we're gonna roll it back. So first thing I talked about today was this change to the PlayStation 5 Priority Chat, and how everybody took it way out of context. They blew it way out of proportion. People were screaming, invasion of privacy and freedom of speech, and one dude was even screaming class action lawsuit, and it was people went cleanly off the deep end. There was even a Reddit thread about it, and to the point where a moderator had to lock the thread, and they commented saying that people were defending toxic and racist behavior in party chats. It boggles the mind that people are still so blatantly racist and don't understand that their actions have big repercussions. And in gaming, it could whitely don't accept it. I mean, there was one comment, oh well, the N-word and Call of Duty are synonymous with each other. Well, make it stop. When someone's being racist and homophobic and a piece of shit in party chat, you have a solution now. We're gonna get to that. But if you're in game chat and someone's being like that, mute them. Don't feed the trolls. That's the whole thing. When someone's being like that way, mute them. Then we're gonna listen to them and if you're gaming with friends, encourage them to mute them and don't engage. Because the person being racist and homophobic, they're looking to trigger you. They're looking for a reaction, and they're gonna get it because you're gonna get fed up of hearing it. So mute them and move on. That's my advice. The thing with the PlayStation 5 the party chat recording, people instantly thought that Sony was storing all this data on the server, and they were going to sift through it and find you saying something bad, and they were going to ban you and all this stuff. People are blowing it way out of proportion. People are screaming invasion of privacy and screaming freedom of speech. But you got to understand something. You don't have any freedom of speech on someone else's platform. You can stand out in public, you can get on your soapbox, and you can speech. That's your freedom of speech. When you're playing on another company's technology and you're using a device and their apparatus where you've agreed to terms of service, read the terms of service, and they'll soon tell you technically, okay, so we won't technically say it, but when you're on their platform, you got to follow their rules, which means if they have a policy in place for hate speech and you use hate speech, guess what? You're not protected by freedom of speech on their platform because you're using their platform to preach hate, which they don't want. So they're allowed to regulate their own fucking platform. And you can't scream privacy because you realize that when you're on the internet, you don't have any fucking privacy because all your tweets can be screen capped, all your posts on Facebook, because they fucking take everything, so can't screen freedom of speech from a Facebook account. Anything you post on Reddit, even if you use an alias, all can be screenshotted, right? There's no getting what you put on the internet can't be deleted. So when you're in a party chat with somebody, if they're recording, you don't know if they're using PS4 remote play, which I have in the past to stream and record party chat, had party chat pushed out through the stream. Guess what? You're on Twitch, YouTube, whatever stream platform that person's using. You're live, and you don't know, right? If you don't know the person's streaming, there's no way to know. I mean, the people I was playing with, they knew because they knew I was streaming because they were streaming. We were streaming the game together. But when you're in a party chat, and this is the same as Xbox, you can be fucking recorded there too. Because you know why? Because there's recording software that captures everything. Same as when you're in a Discord with somebody. Easy. Your stuff, you can be recorded at any time. You have GPS tracking in your goddamn phone and multiple cameras. Like, everyone knows, like, if they want to know where you're at, they can find out where you're at. There's no getting away from it. So the second you go online, you have no privacy, and you got to understand that. In your own home, you should have privacy, and I totally agree with that. And, you know, these laws don't, this ruling, or this new recording of party chats and PlayStation don't infringe on your privacy, because you're opting to be in this party chat. And, like, there's no freedom of speech because you're on their platform. So you can take those fucking two arguments and shove them up your ass, because I'm losing my temper again. But you have to understand that if you read what Sony put out as a statement, like 3 days ago, they cleared it all up. People were losing their fucking minds without ever actually getting any official, you know, they were questioning Sony. They were threatening Sony, which, you know, I guess is the way to win the hearts and minds of the world today. So Sony came out and they said, I'll link the Verge article in the description. I don't have it up in front of me right now because I'm not even pulling up the internet because I don't want to read anything. I'm going to go off memory today. That could be good, that could be bad, I don't know. But, yeah, so they stated that there's recording in 5-minute loops. And it's recording locally on the PlayStation 5. Same as your video records locally on the PlayStation 5. It's a 5-minute loop. So if you're in a party chat with somebody and that individual is being racist, homophobic, or threatening in any manner, that's warranted a report. I mean, if someone, you know, uses the F-bomb or whatever, I mean, that doesn't cut it. But if someone's in your party chat and they're being abusive, then you have the ability to submit a short clip of that to Sony for review. No, Sony's not going to be saving every 5-minute clip and going back through it and nothing. They're not storing it anywhere on their servers. They're not listening into your conversations. The data is stored locally in 5-minute loops on the PlayStation. It's used to help curb online harassment, which, why is that a bad thing? I don't know. There's been a lot of people arguing against it. So the people arguing against it are the ones that in my mind are the ones that go into party chats and are pieces of shit. That's my guess. I mean, that's the only reason why you'd be upset. Because when I'm in party chats, I'm in party chat with people I know. And if I'm in a party chat with people I don't know, I don't talk like I do when I talk with my friends. Because I don't, you know, feel like pissing someone off or upsetting somebody over, you know, something. And I mean, some people get upset over the weirdest things, and who am I to judge? I'm just saying, if I'm hanging out with my friends, I don't use racial slurs, but I mean, sometimes things get said, and if someone didn't understand, it'd be taken out of context, and I understand people are worried about that. But if you're in a party chat with people you don't know, or you're in someone else's party chat, you know, you're invited in, you're doing a raid run or something on Destiny 2, and you need, you know, to be in some with randoms you don't know, and you're in a party chat together because it works best. Just watch your P's and Q's. Don't be a piece of shit. It ain't that hard. You know, like, that's the biggest problem. People seem to find this ability to not act like a piece of fucking garbage so hard. Here's what I said in my earlier recording today was, if you're going to talk to someone in party chat, pretend they're sitting across the desk from you. So would you sit down across from a total stranger that you don't know who they are and use racial slurs, homophobic slurs, threaten to murder them, threaten to rape them, etc.? Would you do that to someone sitting across from you in real life? If you wouldn't do that in real life, don't do it online. Because you don't know the other person on the line, who they are, what they're going through. Why you got to treat someone like a piece of shit? Because you're a piece of shit. That's the only reason I can think of treating someone in such a manner, is because you are a piece of shit and you want someone else to feel the same way you do. Seek help. Realistically, you need to seek help. Like I said, that's the first thing that pissed me off today. I made a recording. Like I said, I ranted a little bit, and I'll admit, hey, it's the Rant series. I mean, I'm known for it. But so I recorded that, and I was going to edit it, and I got busy doing some other things today. So then after lunch, I was on Twitter, and I seen the post where Sony has released Black Lives Matter theme for your PlayStation 4. And I just knew what the comments were going to be. So I loaded in the first comment I read. An individual said that if that was on his PlayStation, you throw it out his apartment window. So I replied and I said, well, put the theme on and do it. Like, that was my response to that, because the person was acting like a complete childish idiot. And then later on, they replied about, supporting that they're gonna ditch Sony and go to Xbox. And I said, well, Xbox supports Black Lives Matter too. I know that for a fact. I read an article because someone else challenged me again about, Sony's just grandstanding and virtue signaling and using all the big fucking terminology they think makes them sound important, that they put out this Black Lives Matter theme. Sony for months, along with a ton of companies, developers, etc., have all stated they support Black Lives Matter and they're standing against racism and they stand for diversity and everything else. There's a big movement, and people are not understanding that. Like, you see one person doing something, so they shit on them, and they go, I'm leaving Sony, I'm going to Xbox. Well, too bad. If you don't like Black Lives Matter and diversity, guess what? You're not going to like it over at Xbox, because they're the same way. And I know this because I've heard it from Phil Spencer's mouth. Okay? Then the next smart response was, well, my husband just canceled the PlayStation 5 pre-order. He's building a PC now. Okay, so where are you going to buy your PC parts from? Oh, from companies that support Black Lives Matter, diversity, etc. Then where are you buying your games from? Steam? Well, guess what? Steam, Valve, right from Gabe's mouth, he supports these groups. He stands against racism, stands for diversity. So there you go. You're going to build a PC built by companies that support diversity and Black Lives Matter and stand against racism, and you're going to buy games off a platform that does the same. So you're going to leave Sony to go where? Nowhere, because everybody's standing against racism. That's the right thing to do. There's multiple comments like, Reddit, unfortunately. If I come across this on Reddit regarding it. I'm just going to wait for the Taliban and ISIS team to drop next. Like, no, not even close. There's a multitude of people saying, well, I've installed it on my PlayStation now and my PlayStation caught on fire. Or if I installed it, I'm allowed to go loot my neighborhood. Like, people were just being complete trash. And I mean, one individual got into an argument with me, for multiple times, saying how Sony's one of the most racist companies, and because they're from Japan, and how Japan's a racist nation. And he knew this because he's stationed there for 4 years. So based on his experience with some random people in Japan and some news articles from like 5 or 6 years ago, he's basing Sony's stand on anything based on individual people in a country. So I said to him, I asked him multiple times where he buys his PC parts from. And basically, he took forever to finally answer me. And we come up with an answer. It was along the lines of, well, they don't probably care about the wokeness and all this shit. It's like, dude, the companies that you buy from support the diversity of Black Lives Matter. And the country, unfortunately, in China, they have a long history of treating their own people like fucking garbage and treating outsiders like garbage. So you're going to base that on what? And, eventually he gave up because he realized he was in the wrong. I haven't had a reply from him in quite a while. The other individual kept saying that I was defending Sony and not defending not supporting Black Lives Matter. And I'm thinking, this is a thread where people are attacking Sony based on their stance on Black Lives Matter. I shouldn't have to defend them, but I was. He was trying to twist my words, saying it was more important to me to defend Sony than Black Lives Matter. And yeah, the dude went on this massive tweet reply to me for ages, over and over and over again. I'm like, dude, you need to get some friends or seek help. Like, these people that one gentleman in his bio, he was a pastor, shitting all over Sony because they put it on optional theme that a person could download on their PlayStation. But, apparently it offended him to great levels where he had to, basically denounce Sony and everything else. And I said, complete hatred over an optional theme. I said, that's a great thing for you to talk about at your next sermon. Because Because if you're a pastor and you're anywhere at all religious, I thought religion was supposed to teach enlightenment and inclusivity and things like that. But apparently only if you're, in this gentleman's eyes, as long as you're white. Like, I mean, a lot of the comments, I know people were just trying to get responses. You can tell because they were just regurgitating like the other 15 posts that were doing the same shit. But the people that were losing their minds and they're constantly going on about, oh, Black Lives Matter, where's the Blue Lives Matter and all lives matter, you know, the typical response from people that think they're being so smart. And I'll admit at a time, you know, Black Lives Matter when it started, unfortunately there's been some bad apples in the Black Lives Matter community. And I don't stand for them, you know, strong arming people and being, you know, trying to think that because they're running a movement they can do things that are you know, above and beyond, you know, acting like decent human beings. And people have kept saying about, oh, they done all this and done this, and they, you know, there's been a lot of documented proof that there was people that were doing stuff in the name of Black Lives Matter just to give them a bad name. Now, I'm not going to get into all the craziness that went on down in the States. That's not what I'm here. I'm here to ask gamers to be better people. Like, people always give gamers a bad rap, and you know what? They don't need to anymore because gamers gives themselves bad rap. It's sickening to realize that I'm part of a community of people that talk like this and act like this and have to treat others less than them and treat them like shit. You know, gamers are always, you know, we're always losers. Like, you know, gamers sit around, smoke weed, and eat Doritos, like those old tropes, and, you know, and how gamers are sexist and gamers are racist, and, you know, how gamers are losers and all the other stuff that's always said about gamers, and they're nobodies and they waste their time on video games. And every day the gaming community lets themselves down by acting the way they act. There's no need of it. Like, I'm not saying I'm an angel and I've never, you know, I never use racial slurs against anybody. I don't do that. I mean, others, you know, the old I fucked your mom thing. I mean, yes, I've done that. It was mostly just to trigger somebody. I've never threatened anyone's life online or threatened to ever rape anybody. I have more respect for myself. I was raised right. And, you know, anyone that has a problem with me, I'm not hard to find. And if you want to comment on this video, you want to comment anywhere, you want to reach out to me on Twitter, and you got a problem with me, you know, we can hash it out. I don't got a problem with that. But there's no need for gamers to act the way they do. We're part of a community. Like, you can't go and say, oh, people hate gamers. Well, there's a reason people hate gamers, because you give them a fucking reason. It's the same thing that we go through whenever there's a developer does something in a game that people don't like, or, you know, their vision's different than what you think it should be. Or the newest one was, oh, they changed the face of Peter Parker in the remastered version of SpiderMan, and the developer was getting death threats. I mean, there's definitely something fundamentally wrong with the human race when a video game warrants someone, you know, threatening someone's life. I mean, I'm not going to bring it all back up, but how about The Last of Us Part 2? The amount of threats that were given out to the voice actors in that game is just beyond comprehension. Like, people that are like this, they really must not have anything in their lives, and I feel bad for them. If you're going through something, ask for help. If you need to talk to somebody, ask. There's lots of people out there that are willing to listen. Hell, I'll listen. There's no need of you threatening someone's life, threatening, you know, to rape somebody. There's no need to treat anyone, no matter if they're a gamer or not, with such fucking disrespect. And then expect to be treated with respect back. You're never going to get it. And like I said to a few people on Twitter today, I replied, was if you're this angry and this upset and have this much hatred over an optional theme that a person can put on their own fucking property in their house, like, this isn't like, oh, when I'm playing with this person, I can see the theme on their console. No, you can't even see. You don't know. You don't know what the other person has on their console. No one knows unless they tell you, right? You know, no one knows what there's on there as the theme. No one knows what I have on my theme on my PlayStation 4. Because you don't need to know. It's mine. Who gives a fuck? If someone wants to have someone with giant anime titties on their PlayStation, I don't care. If you want to have a big floppy cock on your fucking theme of PlayStation, I don't care. If you want to have the Black Lives Matter thing on your PlayStation, I don't care, and neither should you. But to rant and rave and get upset and spit and piss and moan like a fucking crazy person on Twitter because somebody said, here's a theme you might like. You want to put that on your PlayStation? And they threaten, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and fuck Sony and I'm blaming Xbox. And if you're that bent out of shape and have that much hatred over an optional theme that somebody can use, the rest of your life is going to be really fucking hard. Because if that fucking angers you to end, imagine what it's going to be like when you get in the real fucking world and have to deal with a job and bosses and rules and laws that you may not fucking agree with. But no, a theme on a PlayStation is the be-all end-all of your fucking hatred. You need to really fucking have a reality check. You need to look in the mirror. That's what you need to do. You need to look in the mirror and say the fucking shit that you say online to yourself. Go say it to your mom. How about that? Go and pull a chair up at your dinner table and talk like that like you do online to your mother, your father, your little sister, your little brother, big sister, big brother, your grandparents, school teacher. Go talk to a cop like that. Here's the point. You're hiding behind your mic on the internet. Yes, I know, I am too, and I have for years. Everybody does. Behind the mic, the keyboard, the joystick, wherever you want to say it. But just think, if you're out there and you're spewing fucking hatred online, would you say it to someone's face in public? Would you say that to your mother? Would you say it to your father? Hey, I know some people out there probably would because maybe their parents were pieces of shit. But think of someone that you actually care about. Think of someone that you love, respect. Walk up to them and call them a racial slur for no reason. Walk up to them and say, I'm going to go and I'm going to find you and stab you. I'm going to go murder your kids. I hope you get cancer. Go say that to someone you fucking care about. Just look in the mirror and say it to yourself. Because that's the kind of person you are. You're a spineless piece of shit when you got to make threats to someone online like that. I recorded this like I said, this is the third time, and I was trying to stay away from me getting angry again. It's impossible. Because this pisses me off to no end. You need to be better than that. You need to smarten up. You need to stop thinking you're funny. You need to stop thinking you're edgy. You need to grow the fuck up a little bit. I always said, I may grow old, but I'm never going to grow up. I don't know if that's the right term to use anymore. Because if I see the way you guys act online, and that is not being grown up, I don't want to be that way. I want to grow up. I think in the last, I'd say year and a half of my life, things have changed quite a bit for me. And I'm not an old man. I'm not a young man. I'm not a little kid. I'm not a millennial, but I see the world a different way now. I have more opinions, and I see the way people treat each other, and it bothers me. I see the way people act online, and I know I'm no angel, never claimed to be. And yes, I've said stuff to people online to trigger them, and that's one thing. One thing to, still not the greatest. Like I said, I'm not defending my actions. But I don't treat people. I don't threaten people's lives. I don't threaten to do harm to them. I don't threaten, their families. I don't wish ill on anybody because that's just not nice. There's a lot of people in this world that deserve hate. But Sony putting in the Black Lives Matter theme, the developer SpiderMan changing the way Peter Parker looks, a game developer killing the character. Hey, I didn't like it, but I sure as hell didn't threaten anyone's life over it. You just need to be better. I've asked this before. Whenever we had the big discussion about the hate that the Last of Us 2 developers and actors, etc. got, and they're still getting. It's not ended. They can't even post anything online about The Last of Us Part 2, and people are losing their fucking shit. It's been a couple months now. I think it's time for you people to let it go and move on. But you can't because you're full of hate. And I ask people to be better people. I ask everybody to be better, to stop, being pieces of shit, because it isn't hard. It isn't hard not to hate somebody. Without reason. There is a reason to hate people. I get it. But for someone you don't know online, for a game developer, for a voice actor, for some random kid you met playing Destiny 2 that didn't know how to do the raid. You know, whatever it is, there's no reason to hate that person. There's no reason to treat them like garbage. But you're definitely never going to command any respect. And you're going to go through life being a pretty fucking shitty feeling person if everybody you meet, you treat like shit. Because like I said, here's a little exercise for you. The shit you say online, say it to your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your brother, sister, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whatever. Go say it to someone you care about and someone you love and have respect for, and say it to them and see what kind of reaction you get. And just think that you saying that to someone online, you know, they're not going to like it, because I guarantee the person you're saying to their face not going to like it. How do you like it? Do you like being called, you know, racial slurs, homophobic slurs? Do you like being threatened? Like that's what you got to look at. Don't be that person. Be the better person. Well, this already turned into a longer episode than I expected it to, because I can't not be fucking pissed off. Like, it's mind numbing that people still act this way. And the people that find it funny are just as bad as the people who feel this way. There's if you don't like it, move on. That's the answer. Man, I'm not putting the theme on my PlayStation, but I didn't post anything hateful to Sony about it. I mean, Black Lives do matter. And I mean, that's a thing. You know what? It shouldn't need to be a thing, but it is. Same as, you know, these conversations that people seem to need to have every so often when the fucking gaming community loses their fucking shit. It's just time to be better. It is time that we, as a whole, become fucking better. That's all I'm saying. This like I said, this turned out to be a lot longer than I expected it to be. But if you listen to this and hey, if I've changed someone's mind, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy I did it. I'm hoping I changed a few people's minds. If someone listens to this, pass this along to somebody. You don't have to make them listen to the whole thing. If some of my wisdom can be imparted on anybody, please do. And if you're out there and you're feeling like you need to talk to somebody, hit me up. Reach out to me. I guess I'm not a therapist, but I can listen. I can offer advice. I can just be an ear. Like I said, there's no need to treat other people the way people are being treated. So, like I said, impart some wisdom on people. Ask the person next time someone's being a piece of shit to you, ask them if they'd say that to their own mother, their own father, someone they love and someone they respect. If they have no one they love and no one respect in their life, then I feel bad for them. But it's time. It's the time as a community, as a gaming community. And I know it's a minority of people that are like this. I do know that because there's way too many good people in the gaming community. But if we don't say anything and we don't stand up, nothing will change, right? So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time things change. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.